Now that President Trump is our president, how can he ensure that he has a great legacy? A legacy as one of the greatest presidents for the United States of America. Dave Chappelle on Saturday Night Live had said we all wish Trump succeeds so that our country is successful. President Trump has had a core support of 42% basically throughout his first term. He has now raised that to approximately 50%. How does he arrive at 60 to 70% approval? There are 7 steps that can get him there to ensure his legacy as one of the best presidents of the United States. The first step is to make MLK's dream come true. We were judged on the basis of our character and not the color of our skin. And with that, American would place on any government form, federal, state, or local, that's asked your race, creed, color, ethnicity. The passage of that legislation would be the first day of post-racial America. You can read about that legislation in my book. Second one, to expand the mission of DOGE, the Department of Governmental Efficiency, that was to be run by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. And that mission should include going after structural statism, structural racism. And what is that? Well, structural statism screws everyone over. It's the hurdles, burdens, and barriers put in the way of the citizen to get a job, to start a business, run a business, to put a roof over your head, to put food on the plate of your children, and to pursue happiness as you see fit. That's structural statism. It does us no good. It just makes life more difficult. And as blacks have 1/8 the net worth of whites, these hurdles are higher, burdens heavier, and barriers thicker. We can expand the scope of DOGE to include structural statism, structural racism. You can read about that in my 100 Questions After the Killing of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor book. The third step is to address our housing unaffordability. Our housing, and I say this as a person who has built and renovated homes for 25 years, the increase in requirements put forth by Republicans and Democrats have made it so much more time-consuming and expensive to build a home, not just in the permitting, but in ridiculous increases in the minimums in the actual building code, to no appreciable benefit for the citizen. Consider that Vermont today, 2025, has no state building code for single-family residences because they want to make it the most affordable for a citizen to actually build a house that they can live in to pursue the American dream. When we make it more difficult, more costly, more time-consuming, we push the American dream further away for the American citizen. And part of the solution is what I call the Affordable Building Code for homes 3,800 square feet and less. And basically you would go back to a building code from 1971, and that building code allows you to have a code, and those houses and the houses built before then, they're all still standing. We should not be shooting ourselves in the foot just to slavishly follow the edicts of our Republican and Democrat leaders to satisfy special interests. You can read about this in chapter 15 of my 100 Questions book. The fourth step to help Trump cement his legacy as a great president is the No-Fault Marriage Act. Children raised by 2 parents in the same household have better academic, physical, and emotional health than those raised in single-parent families. That's the data. That's the science. So to increase marriage, as 99% of live births are the result of heterosexual sex, to increase the likelihood that this man and this woman can raise this child together, the No-Fault Marriage Act would provide that there be no new financial responsibilities between those 2 adults, but the requirements of support for their children would remain as it is today. And the idea is to get more people to get married and to reduce barriers to the marriage, as that is beneficial to our society and the core institution of our society. The 5th step is peace through strength. This is something that Ronald Reagan in the 80s and the American taxpayer supported, to have a stronger and more robust military so as to ward off hegemons in other areas of the world that were looking to increase their sphere of influence and the amount of people under their jackboot. And it worked. The sixth step is to recognize the daily violent death of young black men, boys, and bystanders, something that our mainstream media refuses to talk about. It is such a significant problem that black males between the ages of 15 and 24, about half of their deaths are the result of murder. Then approximately 23% are the result of accidents, and then about 8% suicide, and heart disease only shows up at 4%. This is a significant problem. If we are losing 11 young black men, boys, and bystanders every day nationwide to this violence, the Chicago tragedy, that is a scandal. And we should talk about it and how to make it better and not avoid it. You can read about that in my book, 100 Questions After the Killing of George Floyd and the Chicago Tragedy. The seventh step is school choice. At present, we spend so much on our public education system, and yet so many high-need students are stuck in failing schools and do not have a reasonable way out of it because they don't have the money. It is in fact a form of a de facto separate but equal Jim Crow school system, where you will go to school in your zip code, whether you like it or not. Instead, we should promote school choice so that high-need students have greater options through public charter schools or educational savings accounts so that the parents and the students can pick a better educational option for themselves. You can also read about this in my book, The School to Prison Pipeline, How the Public School Monopoly and Teachers Unions Deny School Choice to High Needs Black, Hispanic, White, Asian, and other students. Let's make America greater still, with brotherhood from sea to shining sea, the sweet land of liberty, and wish that President Trump can build on his victory and build on his legacy. Thank you.